Sagittarius, today, the three oldest cards of destiny rise before you, like a warning and a confirmation. The Wheel of Fortune, Judgment, and the Two of Pentacles. They don't show up to scare you. They appear to speak directly to the deepest part of you. The part that's still quietly wondering, can I begin again without having to tear everything down? An unexpected turning point is already spinning your way, not waiting for you to be ready. And when it arrives, the truth you've been avoiding will rise like a sudden gust of wind, stripping the leaves from every branch. A truth that can no longer be hidden. A mask will fall not because someone tore it off, but because the hand that's held it up has grown too tired to keep holding on. And two opportunities, both standing in front of you, will demand something simple yet sacred. Choose, not with outdated logic, but with a clarity that's been forged in fire. Tomorrow, a new energy will be activated, not on the calendar, but in your bloodstream. What's been stuck will begin to release. What's been draining you will start to fall away on its own. But only if you can stay still enough to tell the difference between momentum and panic. If you let the fear of being left behind take the wheel, you might grab the first thing that arrives just because it shows up early. And if you try to hold on to both, you'll lose them both. There's a tiny detail, almost invisible, that will determine whether you open the right door or slip back into the old spiral. To seal the energy of protection and clarity around this choice, I invite you, right now, to pause and type this in the comments. I choose peace and prosperity in divine order. Don't overthink it. Just plant it like a seed in still soil and let your breath be the water. Let yourself be fully present as I begin to tell you what the cards are whispering to you today. Sagittarius, place your palm gently on the table, as if you were pressing your hand against the bark of an ancient tree. Feel the pulse of life underneath the wood, the quiet memories of old journeys, etched into its grain. This is not a place to run or to leap through every door. This is the space to take one step back and listen, like a hunter waiting not for prey, but for a spiritual opening. The Wheel of Fortune begins to turn, slowly, but firmly. And tomorrow, it will click into a place you've been avoiding for months, maybe longer. It will activate an answer to all those sleepless nights where you didn't even know what question you were asking. The wheel does not come to release you from responsibility. It arrives to declare something honest. Your soul is no longer asking for rest as a plea. It is now ready to rest as a rightful claim. The wind has shifted, but remember, when the wind is finally at your back, that's when people tend to let go of the rudder. You don't have to row against it, but you also don't have to follow whatever floats by, just because it's easy. And after the wheel comes the card of Judgment. I know, the name sounds like punishment, but it's not. There's no condemnation in its trumpet, only clarity. When you hear your name being called, not to be judged, but to be released, you will know a familiar face, someone who once claimed to love you, but quietly tried to control you, someone who once praised you, subtly dimming your light. They will no longer be able to hide behind their charm. There won't need to be a fight, no proof required. When truth is clear enough, it settles back into place on its own, like puzzle pieces returning home. You won't have to prove your worth anymore. The mask will fall not by force, but because your light is finally strong enough to melt the wax, and in the space cleared by that truth, the third card steps forward, the Two of Pentacles. A dancer, one hand holding light, the other shadow. And yet, the rhythm stays intact. Two opportunities, two directions, two life paths will ask you to show up with all of yourself. But you don't need to choose under pressure. You are allowed to choose from your breath. This card always comes with a sign, a confirmed email, an invitation to return, a revived project, a surprise deposit from a place you had already given up on. But the message isn't in the news. It's in the arrangement. If you try to carry it all with one hand, everything will drop. If you speak to everyone with the same voice, no one will hear your truth. But if you put one thing before the other, if you say yes to what feels aligned and say no to what drains you, you won't lose a thing. You'll simply return to your rhythm, to the life you were always meant to live. Not in chaos, but in sacred, intentional flow. Tomorrow marks a turning point. The number 28 is no coincidence. 2 represents duality. 9 signifies endings. And you are standing right between them. Ending a cycle doesn't need a speech. Opening a new path doesn't need a map. So think honestly. In your life, what 2 areas are most in need of light? Love and work? Freedom and stability? Your body and your emotions? Naming them makes space. Clearing that space lets the universe know you're ready to receive. You've been through so many journeys. You've kept the fire burning for a house no one noticed. You've put out flames while others slept. You've held things together that were never truly yours, because you were afraid that if you let go, everything would fall apart. But today, the wheel is granting you rest. Rest without guilt. Saying no without resentment. Receiving beauty without needing to prove your worth. True resilience isn't how many times you stand up. It's being able to stand still, right in the middle of the storm, and still not lose yourself. And then, in a moment that feels small, a random conversation, a message you didn't expect, you'll receive a confirmation. Not from the world, but from you. Someone who once doubted you, who didn't see the home you built with your own hands, will say something you no longer even need to hear. But when they do, you'll still feel a quiet release. That's a beautiful ending. Not because you need their validation, but because you've finally stepped away from a battle that never needed soldiers. Self-respect doesn't negotiate. It's built through the small things you do for yourself. And the light you once held up in the darkest times, that light is now seen. There's no need for applause. Just know, this time, that light won't go out again. Because you've chosen to hold on to yourself, not an outdated connection. And that is the beginning of everything you truly deserve. The 2 of Pentacles doesn't promise magic falling from the sky. It won't show up like golden rain when you're doing nothing. It comes to you, a Sagittarius, always on the move, as a quiet reminder that the material world has a rhythm of its own, and you're being invited to step into that rhythm, not with weary feet, but with clear, conscious intention. I see something very specific, about to shift your pace. A change in work, a surprising collaboration, a project you thought had flatlined, coming back to life, or a stream of income from a place you'd already given up on. But don't call it an opportunity. Don't chase it like it's rare. Call it what it is. It's the reward for the consistency you've held. During the seasons when no one clapped for you, as you begin to set boundaries in a steadier voice, life starts to understand not everything has permission to touch you. When you close outdated doors, the right ones recognize you've cleared the way for them. True abundance only takes root where there's order. Not the kind of order that comes from rigid control, but the kind born from gentleness, from letting your emotions be heard, but not letting them run the show. I want you to hear me now. Not with your ender, but with your heart pressed to the table. Place your right hand on your chest, your left hand on the wood, and repeat after me, not as a mantra, but as a vow you make to yourself. From this moment forward, my peace is my highest priority. My heart receives abundance with gratitude, and everything aligns according to my will, through love and clarity. Let these words flow out like an underground stream, so every cell in you recognizes you don't have to tremble anymore at the idea of a full life. This is a sacred decree, a gentle spell your spirit needs to clear away the echo of all the years you thought you weren't enough. In the Sagittarius journey, humility sometimes hides as self-limitation, but today, you don't need to apologize for being strong. No one has to go without, just because you finally begin to receive your share. And you're not alone. There is a gentle presence walking with you, not to hold your hand, but to remind you, you can walk on your own now. I feel this presence, soft like an old grandmother, steady like a mother who won't let you forget your worth. Maybe you've dreamed of her lately, caught the scent of something long gone, heard a melody in your head at night, and wondered why. It's not random. It's a message from the other side. You don't have to carry more than you were meant to. You don't have to live a life someone once tried to shape for you, with sweet words that masked control. Tomorrow's judgment won't be loud. It's not a place for debate. It's the space where you quietly realize someone still believes they know your path better than you. And that belief once made you shrink, even inside your own dreams, but not anymore. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to explain why you chose something different. Clarity will bring everything back to its true nature. What needs to fall will fall, and you will feel lighter. So ask yourself gently, where is it that I need to return to? When I feel abandoned, what small act helps bring me back to myself? Maybe it's an old breakfast you used to love, a shirt that once gave you confidence. Maybe it's a drawer full of unanswered letters, and the moment you choose to organize it. Tiny things, but they anchor the biggest decisions. The Two of Pentacles knows where true stability comes from balancing contracts and brushing your hair slowly, from managing your finances, while remembering to keep your heart alive. Tomorrow, I invite you to leave the house carrying a sign, a physical object that marks your new rhythm. Maybe it's a bracelet with 2 knots. Maybe it's a note in your pocket, something you've written to remind yourself of your choice. This isn't superstition. This is sacred psychology. This is you reprogramming your frequency. You need an anchor now, because life is about to speed up, but not to overwhelm you. It's only speeding up to push you out of that stagnant pool and into spaces where the meals are real, the conversations are unmasked, and your sensitivity is a strength, not a burden. Right before every breakthrough, doubt always shows up. Today, you may hear it whisper, "What if I'm wrong? What if I fall back into old patterns?" Don't fight those thoughts like enemies. Invite them to sit beside you. Thank them for keeping you safe this long. Then say gently, "From now on, my grown self will take the wheel. I'm the one who knows how to say, 'That's enough,' to anything that hurts me." The Wheel of Fortune doesn't only reward perfect timing. It rewards those who keep walking when it spins downward and stay grounded when it rises up again. Your task isn't to guess the rhythm of the wheel. Your task is to protect your own rhythm, the rhythm of responsible freedom. And I see something small but clear. One afternoon soon, maybe tomorrow, you'll receive a message or a call, a confirmation that a door you thought was closed is opening again. Not the same door, but with a new tone, a new way of being. It could be a chance to start again, or a final closure, sealed with dignity. Don't rush to say yes. Ask carefully. Ask about the timing, the conditions, how you will be treated. This isn't the time to say yes to everything, just because you're afraid to lose. This is the time to say yes only to what truly leads you back to peace. And if you're still unsure, let the night guide your answer. Sagittarius knows how to decode dreams. When the house finally becomes still, the number 9 shows up, like a curtain falling, not to hide the scene, but to change it. You might feel sad, you might miss the things that once made you feel safe, but you'll realize it's when you release what no longer resonates that the right things finally find space to enter. Give yourself permission to feel, without drama. Cry, if needed. Smile, when the relief comes. And write a single line. For me, the one who loves, I choose a beautiful life. Keep that note in your wallet. So one day, when you lose your rhythm, you'll touch it and remember. I chose well, with my own hands, with my own clear, awakened heart, and I will never again apologize for the light I carry. There is a guardian angel watching over you, not to pull you off your path, but to hold the 4 corners of your tent steady when the winds change direction. A spirit that never interrupts your steps, but watches the places you're still too tender to expose. I ask that angel now to surround you as you read these words. I pray she helps you sort through the thoughts, still tangled like strings of an unplayed bow. That she helps you know what is a real sign and what is just an old echo. I pray she brings you into fair conversations and protects you from any table where people only come to taste the food, but not cook it with you. And as for you, Sagittarius, nourish your angel with gratitude made real through action. One small act. Take a moment to clean a corner of your life you've neglected because you believed you were too busy. Your suitcase, an old plan, a note in your phone, a place in your heart you swore you'd return to later. Honor your space, because real wanderers don't carry everything. They only carry what resonates. And you know this better than anyone. I want you to revisit a question, one that seems simple, but is actually foundational. If you could choose right now, what would you rather receive first? An inner sense of peace, or a breath of financial relief? This isn't a test. There's no right or wrong answer here. Only permission. Do you give yourself permission to admit what you truly need, without feeling the need to justify it? Say it out loud, gently, as if you were whispering to someone you trust with your whole heart. Maybe it sounds like this: I want the opportunity to come first, and with it, a heart that feels stable. Or, I hope the money arrives first, but not at the cost of my inner stillness. When you soften enough to say that, you become the compass of your own destiny. And from that moment on, the 2 of Pentacles will no longer feel like a tangled puzzle, but a clear map in your own hands. If what I've shared is guiding you back to yourself, if you feel this message is more of a shelter than a stage, then let this affirmation be the way your soul leaves its imprint on the present moment. I choose myself with love. I close what still lingers. And I receive double what honors me. Write it down, not for anyone else to see, just for you to remember. Anytime you need to return to the wisest version of you. Before we close today's reading, I want to return to a small piece of paper I once left open, because I know, for you, the small things always carry deep meaning. Judgment, in the teaching of this card, doesn't come to condemn. It comes to teach you how to choose your words without harming others or yourself. Here's a simple but powerful formula. Speak your feelings without placing blame. Share what you need without apologizing for it. And if you need a boundary, draw it clearly, as if marking the front flap of your own tent, quietly, firmly. And don't be surprised if, in that exact moment, a second blessing, something material, begins to arrive. Not because you spoke a perfect mantra, but because you just did something rare. You organized your emotions clearly enough for the universe to trust that you're ready to receive something bigger. You're standing at the perfect ripened point, between a heart that used to leap too quickly and a hand that now knows how to hold warmth with care. I know The most exciting part hasn't come yet, because there's still one small gesture you can make. Right at dawn tomorrow, a simple act that could be enough to activate the portal of the new day, enough to shift the energy of the Two of Pentacles from endless spinning into a stable rhythm you now control. And I know this too. There's a specific area of your life, you already know what it is, that is asking you to place your attention there first. Not because it's weak, but because it's the pressure point, the place that might break if you keep avoiding it. So give me just a little more time. Stay with me. In the next sections, I'll name the truth you already know, but haven't yet allowed yourself to say. And when you hear that name, you'll know the path ahead is no longer built on willpower alone, but cleared of burdens that were never yours to carry. I am still here, with the cards on the table, and a heart that does not push, only waits. For the moment you realize everything is coming together, not to weigh you down, but to finally let you live as someone who has chosen clarity over conquest. The second blessing can be named quite precisely a stream of income that was once blocked, a job opportunity you thought had passed, an agreement that was delayed, a hand that once turned away, now returning to help. But this time, it's not random kindness, it's repayment, a scale rebalanced, a return, silent, but fair. Picture your face softening, your shoulders dropping, your breath deepening, as if the tide has finally shifted in your favor. And you no longer have to swim, you can float, and no, this time, the water is lifting you, not pulling you under. Sagittarius, you no longer need to ask permission to shine. And I want you to ask yourself, gently, if tomorrow, the thing you've most longed to hear, finally arrives, what will you celebrate first? A sign that you were right all along? A moment of confirmation that you can stop carrying everything alone? An invitation, without control attached? Or simply, a quiet ease in your chest? The kind you've searched for in 1,000 conversations, but never found? What once drained you is beginning to dissolve. The conversations that made you shrink. The relationships that demanded, but never gave. The habit of always saying yes, even when your heart screamed enough. All of it, melting away, like fog before the morning sun. And what you once mistook for grief may actually be the first step in your healing. You might feel empty, you might feel nostalgic, but you'll see it soon. No emptiness lasts when you can name what you truly deserve. So I leave you with this question. No need to answer it yet. Just carry it with you like a flame in the dark. What are you truly willing to let go of? To welcome what's been knocking on your door for far too long? There is a clear spiritual presence with you now. A quiet, feminine energy, wrapping around you like soft cloth, like the embrace of a maternal soulline. She knows what makes you tremble. She also knows what is beginning to rise within you, and she will not let you miss it. This presence doesn't just protect you, she passes you the compass, so you can read the signs without doubting your own intuition ever again. If lately, your dreams feel more vivid than your waking hours, if you see a butterfly fluttering through a city of concrete, if a scent of salt, old wood, or forgotten flowers brushes past you for no reason at all, don't dismiss it. That's a wink from the subtle world. It's how your guardian angel taps your shoulder without startling you. And, Sagittarius, what moves me most in this reading is that you've finally arrived at the moment where you no longer need permission to shine. You don't have to prove that you deserve to move forward. You just move, because the light you carry no longer apologizes for existing. And no one can take that away from you now. Your sensitivity, what once made you feel weak, is becoming your gift, no longer something to hide, but a quiet power that understands what others haven't even said aloud yet. Your heart no longer opens out of panic or shuts down from defense. Now it knows when to open and when to rest, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You've learned your worth needs no stamp of approval. You've come home to the sacred house within your soul, the one you once abandoned, just to chase acceptance from the world. And now, you are stronger than ever. Tomorrow won't feel like just another calendar day. It will arrive like a long-awaited dock, and the opportunities that appear will be like anchored ships, with new sails waiting for you to board. But the most beautiful thing is not the opportunity itself. It's the fact that, this time, you're ready. Ready to walk, not to escape, but to travel alongside yourself. Each step you take from here on will feel more grounded, not because the wind has stopped, but because, for the first time, you know how to steer. You will no longer feel alone. You won't feel like you're paddling upstream. Life will move with you. In fact, you'll feel it rowing beside you, in the same direction. The cards are revealing something deeper than any prediction, something that touches how you exist in this world. For a long time, you thought you had to explain every decision, defend every feeling, apologize for your devotion or your silence. But that pattern is dissolving with the tide. Starting tomorrow, you'll no longer need to prove yourself. You won't need to carry the weight of explaining why you love the way you love. Life is placing you somewhere new, a place where your calm presence is the loudest answer. And that is one of the greatest blessings of all. To walk without proving, to show up without begging to be seen. I see clearly. Someone close to you, someone you once cared about deeply, will finally recognize what they've denied for years. That recognition, even if simple, will soothe a tender part of your soul. You'll see it in their eyes, not in a grand apology, but in a look honest enough to heal the child within you. It could be a relative, a colleague, an old friend, but whoever it is, their acknowledgement will loosen a knot you've silently carried for too long. And then, like a gust of wind tossing your hair awake, something unexpected will arrive, unscheduled, unannounced, not asking if you're ready. It will come, like a message that's been waiting for your heart to finally be light enough to open. A document once delayed, a stream of money you thought had slipped away, an invitation that opens a whole new horizon. It'll all come at once, so quickly, you won't have time to overthink. And that's how you'll know it's real. Because it won't give you time to doubt. It will simply invite you to trust. Let me remind you, Sagittarius, life always surprises us. Right at the moment we stop trying to control every drop and start trusting the greater tide. That trust within you, once fragile, is now blooming. In the spiritual depth of this shift, a feminine hand appears again. She doesn't push, she doesn't rush, she simply lifts you. When you've nearly run dry, she lights the path. When old fears whisper you back into hiding, she wants you to know, this isn't random, not coincidence, not luck. It's part of a map your soul chose long ago. You just stood too close to the boulder to see the full picture, but she sees. And when she smiles, it's her quiet celebration of you. Because she knows you've lived through shorelines and deep ravines, and still, you kept the faith. The doors that once slammed shut are now cracking open, and you'll sense it first. In the smallest details, a message that shifts your entire day, a phone call that feels random, but was divinely timed, a meeting that seems accidental, but is precisely placed. As these puzzle pieces begin to fit, you'll understand. Tomorrow isn't just another date, it's a turning point. A bell ringing in the next chapter, where your patience, your honesty, and your faith are finally rewarded. And with that comes release. A lightness Like the first time you set down a burden that was never yours. You've carried weight for others, held space for those who never noticed, waited for thank yous that never arrived. But that's no longer needed. This new cycle doesn't ask you to give endlessly. It asks you to choose wisely, to decide who is truly worthy of your water, your love, your time. And no, that won't make you hard. It will set you free. I see a clear opportunity approaching. It may look like a quick call, a short conversation, but this time, it isn't just an opening. It's a confirmation that you are ready to receive what was always meant to be yours. It's been circling you for months, like a bird with nowhere to land, held back by the heaviness of your own doubt. But now, you've learned to release what no longer resonates. And finally, there's space for what's right to land. And just when you think you've forgotten, a special connection begins to stir again. Not to return the way it was, but to rise from a higher place. Built on understanding, not expectation. On truth, not masks. There's someone you've wanted to speak to for a long time, but you didn't know how to begin. Let your heart lead. Let the ancestral angel in your blood whisper when to speak and when to stay still. They will understand, because this isn't about you or them anymore. This is about the light coming back to where it belongs. From now on, the signs will appear more frequently. You'll see a white butterfly cross your path, just as you're stuck in hesitation. You'll hear an old song playing in the middle of a crowd. You'll smell something familiar, salt, wood, or faded flowers, without knowing why. And each of these is a confirmation that you are being guided. Everything ahead is coming with good intentions. Even the surprises no longer carry fear, because this time you're not alone. And truthfully, you never were. Only now, you finally believe that you've always been seen exactly as you are. And as quiet certainty takes root in your being, a brand new vision of abundance will begin to unfold. You'll start to understand prosperity is no longer just a number in your account. Though money flows like water that nourishes the physical world, 270 ARs on ours, it is no longer the center. Abundance now is peace in your mind. A morning with no alarm clock. A meal without rushing. A table surrounded by people who don't compete with you, don't manipulate you, don't need you to prove your worth. Just hearts beating together in the presence of gratitude. And that very gratitude will call in even more blessings. Because once you begin to truly see what you already have, you'll open a sacred space for what has not yet arrived. So now, in this sacred moment of the reading, I want to offer you a divine decree, a sentence that opens the door and holds your vibration at its highest frequency. Say this out loud with intention, as a ceremony of your becoming. I, Sagittarius, witnessed by the eternal light, now receive the divine prosperity that was always mine, and I allow good things to come without resistance. Let these words rise in your voice. Let the air around you shift. And notice how everything changes, as if your soul's gate has received the signal you just sent. And I see it with my own eyes. Everything that once shattered is now returning to its rightful place. A circle is closing. A door is opening. An old self is dissolving. You've carried so many silent questions. Am I enough? Do I belong here? These quiet questions drained you more than any visible pain. But now, you don't need reassurance anymore. You are already enough. And that is when the miracle begins. When you acknowledge yourself, not through someone else's lens, the world responds differently. I see the image of a circle closing gently. Yes, there was pain in it. Pain that wore you down to the bone. But none of your tears were wasted. They became symbols on your soul's survival map. Every fall, no longer a reason to avoid, but a reason to teach yourself how to rise with tenderness. Your old wounds, no longer inflamed, they are now quiet scars, telling the story of your becoming. No one else needs to understand. But you know you walked through storms without losing your ability to love. Your strength is not loud. It's not like a fortress. It's like a lake, still, deep, silent, but capable of reflecting the stars. Materially, the river of prosperity is beginning to flow again, not just a random windfall, but true stability. A plan you delayed will now be completed. A contract finally signed. A bill. A schedule. A night's sleep, uninterrupted, with no need to fake being okay in the morning. Abundance is arriving. Because you've changed the song inside, you've silenced the voice of fear, and switched on the background music of trust. In the days ahead, you'll notice this shift. Through direct signs, someone will say exactly what you needed to hear. A dream you won't forget. As if someone carved a message in sand that your heart won't let go. None of this is random. It's confirmation. Your guides are working. Your ancestors are watching. And I say this to you, as a storyteller with a grandfather's voice. Everything that's happening is serving your highest good, even what you don't yet understand. Can you feel it? The things that once felt foggy are becoming clear. And love is approaching, not just romantic love. Though yes, that's possible if you're open. But I'm talking about a deeper love, friendship that asks for nothing, family with no conditions, and above all, a love for yourself that no longer carries shame. You won't need to dim your light anymore. The ones who stay near will be those who don't step back when you need a hug, who honor both your laughter and your silence, who aren't afraid of your success. That environment, that community, is no longer a distant dream. It's your reward, and you're receiving it because you're ready. And most of all, tomorrow, November 28th, will not pass as an ordinary day. It marks the beginning of a new era, where peace, clarity, and abundance meet to bring you back to your soul's natural state. If your heart is still trembling slightly, hold this sentence like a sacred shell. This is not luck. This is worthiness. Everything that's coming is the result of every seed you've planted on days no one was watching. Every time you chose to get up, even when sleep never came the night before. I say this to you as someone who's lived through many seasons and knows, after every winter, there is a seedling. After every storm, a gentle light. Tomorrow will open a chapter where everything falls into place. The scattered pieces will link. The story you once found confusing will begin to take shape. And when that happens, know this: it's not coincidence, it's divine justice. It's the reward for not giving up, for staying soft, for being steady, even when no one applauded. And because of that, I invite you to honor every step you take, even the small ones, because they are leading you home, to a place of peace, of fullness, and of true love. And when you see the sign tomorrow, no matter how faint, remember my words, and smile, with the unshakable knowing that this is not a coincidence. It is destiny. It's the call you've been hearing for a very, very long time. And if this message touched your heart, leave this in the comments to seal it into your reality. I receive with an open heart what is rightfully mine by divine justice. Now, take a deep breath with me. When life hands you two long-awaited blessings at once, will you finally allow yourself to receive them? Without the old voice saying you don't deserve it? I believe, this time, you will choose yourself, and the wind will carry you home, to the harbor your soul named, long before any of this began.